Nigel Freitas and welcome to Technology Behind Business. In today's show, a fashion revolution. We'll talk to the founder of a new DIY jewellery store that's using the internet to challenge the industry. Plus, creative destruction, our panel today on how the internet is destroying business models and what you need to do to survive. Plus, we'll get our hands on the long-awaited Samsung Galaxy tablet. But first up today, will 2011 be remembered as the year of the hack? The last 12 months have seen the return of high-profile data breaches as hackers take advantage of the move towards cloud computing. And while every company has thousands of doors to keep shut, a hacker only has to find one way in. Well, joining me now live from our Melbourne studio to talk about this is Craig Scroggie, the Managing Director of Symantec, who'll give us his thoughts on 2011 and what to expect in 2012. Craig, thanks for coming on today. Let's look back at 2011. It was described as a year of the hack by McAfee's CTO. Is that an accurate statement?
Look, it's certainly a year where the number of hacks became very public. We saw very high-profile organisations get a lot of unwanted media attention as a result of having both their confidential information and the information on their clients made public.
Well, let's talk about some of these companies. We saw Sony get hacked, we saw RSA get hacked, last week Global Sign as well. Is this a new wave of hackers now targeting companies and especially security companies as well?
Look, data loss obviously is not a new issue. It's certainly becoming a more public one. WikiLeaks was the issue, Nigel, that really brought this to the surface and made it a publicly aware issue. But we've also not only got the continued rise in cybercrime, but we've also got a new rise in hacktivism, and that is organisations like LulzSec and Anonymous who have really gone out of their way to ensure that they demonstrate to people that organisations and governments around the world aren't as secure as they need to be, and they do that by breaking into those organisations and embarrassing them by stealing their information.
Well, the other area where we're seeing quite a lot of movement in is mobile. We've seen a lot of companies equip their staff with devices or people bringing their own devices into work. Has that opened up a new door for hackers to go into and cause havoc?
It's certainly been a big challenge for many IT departments over the course of the last 12 months. There's no doubt that under the Christmas tree this year we're going to see a lot more mobile devices and tablet computers. Those will inevitably make their way into the workplace. There was a 42% rise in the number of mobile devices in the last 12 months. So we expect that obviously with more devices coming into the workplace, that makes it harder not only to secure the device but secure the information. People tend to want to email information to themselves, so we don't only get the work information but we get a mix of both company and government information, but we also get private information that's shared on those devices, and certainly tablets, computers and mobile devices make the challenge all that more interesting.
And Craig, given everything you've seen in 2011 and looking ahead to 2012 as well, what do you think the biggest threat is going to be over the next 12 months?
Look, there's certainly four areas that are particularly top of mind for most organisations and government at the moment. Mobile devices, and they will continue to boom. The thing that's interesting in mobile devices is not only the application growth itself, but the use of things like near-field communication for mobile payment technology. So expect that the credit card providers and the banks are going to want to utilise mobile more. Then we've got the growth not only in social communication, but the use of social in the workplace. With people like Facebook, literally consuming the web, 800 million users, 700 billion minutes per month. One of the things that obviously is important to be careful of is not to be posting you're going on Christmas holidays and leaving your house unattended for a couple of weeks while you're away. But obviously, the combination of mobile and social makes protecting information in the workplace an increasing challenge. Then the third one really is cloud computing, and that is the ability to be able to use computing power and pay for exactly what you need, and organisations are looking both at the use of public and private clouds. And the last one really is big data. We expect that in the next 12 months we'll see information in many organisations double year on year, just like it has in the last year. And when that information doubles, just because it's stored doesn't mean it's managed. So making sense of that information contextually will be very, very important, both from a legislative standpoint, but also in terms of helping organisations get better at marketing their products and technologies.
And Craig, very quickly, given all you've just talked about, what would be the one piece of advice you'd give to business next year in order to make sure they're prepared for all those different threats?
Look, obviously, we will see lots of tablet computers and more social networking and communication. So I think the critical thing is that we don't know what the next great device or the next platform is going to be, but we do know two things are consistent. One is we know who the users are, and we know that they will create information. And organisations are going to need to really focus on authenticating and basically proving you are who you say you are when you're on the internet, whether it's connecting to your company or connecting to an online store to buy something. And the other is protecting your information, whether it's encrypting it or knowing when it has been lost or stolen, or the capacity to remotely delete or wipe information on a tablet computer if you happen to lose it. Those things are going to be very, very important in 2012.
Fantastic, Craig. A lot to look forward to next year. Thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Nigel.